Welcome to AlphaCars and Royal Enfield Boston. Today we're taking a look at this 2023 Royal Enfield Classic 350 in Stealth Black. This bike is lightly used, and in this video we're going to go over its general condition, learn about some of the standout features along the way, and learn why this bike offers such a great value. This bike is available at the date of this video posting, so definitely check out the website listing. That will be linked in this video, and in the description you can view things like pricing and availability on there. But don't sweat it if this bike is sold by the time you see it. We have a showroom just to my right full of new Royal Enfields, so definitely, like I said, check out our website. You'll find our latest inventory on there. If you're new to the channel, welcome to AlphaCars. We share daily motoring content on exciting things like this Royal Enfield, so definitely subscribe so you don't miss out. But now, let's check out this Classic 350. First, let's do a walk around of the Classic and learn about its owner and service history, as of course it is lightly used. This only has 721 miles on it, and it was traded in to get a Meteor 650. So this bike is a one owner. We originally sold it here at AlphaCars and Royal Enfield Boston. We originally assembled it out of the crate. It did have the first service done. So this bike, it's really in tip-top mechanical shape. All of the consumables like the tires and brakes, those read over 90% material remaining, as you would expect on a bike with this amount of use on it. But the original owner, they were actually an experienced rider. They just hadn't been on a bike in a little while, so they picked up this 350 for last season, really enjoyed it, put that 700 miles or so on it, and then once the Meteor 650 became more readily available, they traded it in and moved up to that. You may notice it has a couple aftermarket things. It has this aftermarket muffler on it, and of course if this maybe isn't to your taste, we do have the original muffler with it as well, and this is just a slip-on muffler, so to speak. So this muffler, it just connects kind of behind this heat shield here. It's very easy to switch out, so we could even do that for the next owner if they would like. And it has an aftermarket headlight as well. Let me turn on the ignition here. So it does add a lot of visibility. It is LED, and of course, same thing, the original headlight is included with the bike, so if that's not to your taste, obviously that can be put back to factory. This exhaust does add a little bit of sound to it as well, a little bit of volume, so we will hear that later in this video. But I just wanted to mention those two things are the only things that have been replaced on the bike by the original owner, and they did include the original parts taken off to put back on if desired. But I see it as a plus, because if you like the exhaust, if you like the headlight, then great. You've got some pretty much free upgrades that come with the bike. And if you don't like them, well, you can put the original parts back on, and then you could sell these aftermarket parts and have a little bit of extra change in your pocket for something else. So now talking about the general condition, this bike they took awesome care of. I don't see even any marring or scuffing in the tank. Usually kind of this area I'm pointing at gets scuffed up pretty quickly by the rider gear, by the rider's jackets. And I mean, I don't see any of that on this bike. It all presents really, really nice. Same thing, the engine. You can see how clean the chain is, the rims, everything is just in tip-top shape. Apart from the aftermarket items, if we parked this in our showroom, you wouldn't be able to tell the difference between this and the other literally brand new ones we have. The original owner really took great care of this Classic. So let's just learn a little bit about it. Maybe you clicked on this video because you wanted to learn about the Classic, or maybe you're interested in this bike and you don't know much about it. Well, let's learn a little bit about it. It has a 349cc fuel injected 4-stroke, and it produces 20 horsepower and 19.9 foot-pounds of torque. It does have a 5-speed gearbox, and these are a blast to ride. They're relatively lightweight. They're 430 pounds wet, so really what you would expect for a bike this size in this kind of category. But these, with the gear ratios and how the engine delivers its power, makes a lot of torque down low, so You would think it has more power when you ride one of these, honestly. They're a lot of fun. They get right up to 45, 50 miles an hour, you know, local main road speed limits. They get right up there really quick, and they are just a blast to ride. And they sound really good. This one does have a bit different note to it with that muffler. We'll hear in a little bit, but I just wanted to mention that. And then the fuel tank, 3.4 gallons. So with the you can achieve 70 to 80 miles a gallon on these if you ride them kind of lightly. Of course, that's going to vary depending on your riding style. But with that figure of being fuel efficient and having a decent sized tank, there'll be a lot of smiles, you know, between fuel stops as well. Let's touch on the brakes a little bit now. Standard ABS front and rear adds a great deal of safety, having ABS on it here, especially maybe if you're just getting into the sport. And a 300 millimeter disc in the front with a 2-piston caliper. We can see it is a floating design and it is drilled. And if you are having a blast riding the bike and you're getting some heat in the rotors, of course with that floating and drilled design, they're gonna remain braking nice and smooth for you. Single piston caliper on the rear, and it is a 270 millimeter disc. And we can see the disc surface is very nice. It's not corroded or rusted. It's all worn very smoothly. And it really looks you know, almost new. It really is an almost new bike with 700 miles. But now let's get to the value. I say almost new, but you don't have to pay the new bike fees like the assembly and freight. So depending on your location, you know, you're saving between $800 and $1,500, I would say, not having to pay the assembly fee and the, you know, freight fee. So that is really a huge value on this Classic. It's already had the first service done. It's already been assembled, and of course the first owner already paid you know, the manufacturer for them to ship it in a crate to the dealer they bought it from. So really huge value, and it's ready to go, being freshly serviced and in really such nice condition. So now let's go to the controls. I wanted to show the cockpit in a detailed fashion. Of course, this bike is lightly used, and this is where you operate it. So the grips are kind of like a soft touch rubber, and they're very comfortable on these, and I like the diameter as well. And we can see there's really no wear to speak of on these. This is our throttle side. We have our run switch. We have run, start, and then kill. And then on this side, on our clutch side, we have our light switch, which these are just running lights. This would be high beam, and then this is flash to pass. And then you may be wondering, well, what does this button do if that's not the high beam? Well, I'll get into that with the dash in just a couple minutes here. We have the blinkers and the horn. And on this side, we do have the hazard flashers. So if I turn on the key there, you can see it does a nice gauge sweep. I can turn the flashers on. And this is really an awesome, very safe feature that a lot of bikes in a much higher price point actually don't have from the factory. So I do like what Royal Enfield did there. Now, if I use this button, we can cycle between our miles, 721, to our different trips. And then if we want to reset one of our trips, we can go to, let's say, trip 2. All we do is push and hold, and then we're back to 0 there after a couple seconds. And then there is a clock as well, and there's a fuel gauge. You can see we've got maybe a quarter of a tank right now, and the fuel gauge is awesome. So there's no having to open up the tank to look in it. Speaking of opening up the tank, it has this very nice kind of slide keyway cover there. I really like that, and it gives it a really clean, classy look, and it adds to the quality of the bike. There's lots of little touches Royal Enfield does like that really just makes the whole bike feel really premium and quality, and it really is. And there is actually a sort of hidden USB charger right from the factory. We can see this right here. This flips up, and then there is a USB charger there mounted to the bottom of the clutch lever. I'm sorry, there's not really a good angle, and I am fighting the sun today. I do apologize for any weird shadows on the bike, but I did just want to mention that as standard and another just high quality feature. We can see these marker lights. These are LED as well. I believe those, well, I don't believe they were changed by the previous owner. I meant to mention that as well. And now lastly, before we start it, let me touch on what you should be looking at on a used bike. So you can see the bar ends, very clean, no scuff marks, no gouges. This will be a telltale sign if the bike was ever dropped. So very clean, like new condition. Same thing with underneath our foot pegs here. You'll find under here gets scuffed and torn up Even the underside of the muffler, the side of the muffler will get kind of scratched up. So that's a good way to tell if you're looking at a used bike. You know, check the ends of the controls, the levers, and you'll be able to tell pretty quickly if the bike's ever been on its side. And this one I can really accurately say I don't believe it has. Everything is in perfectly like new condition. Any surface that would maybe, you know, make contact, if it did unfortunately tip over. So like I said, it was an experienced rider who had this. They just wanted to kind of get back into the sport with the 350 here. Now that our ignition has been on and we're in neutral, all we have to do is bump the starter and start super easily. That fuel injection works really nice, hot or cold depending on the elevation you're at as well, or maybe the fuel quality where you are. It really always runs sweet. Let me give you a couple little revs so you can hear this exhaust. So like I said, it keeps that kind of classic thumper soundtrack, but it just kind of ups the volume from a factory one. So like I said, the headlight, the muffler there, if that's not to your taste, but you want this bike, we can switch those out for you. Just ask us, we can work that out there, or you can do it yourself. Of course, the factory parts are included. So I believe that's all I have for you today. We just quickly went over some of the bike's standout features and of course talked about its history and condition. Like I may have mentioned earlier in this video, if you did catch this video a bit too late and the bike is sold, we have a huge selection of new and used Royal Enfields, and we always have you know, the used bikes flowing in and out, so definitely keep your eyes on our website to keep tabs on that. But this has been Ian reporting from our Boxborough location. Please like this video and subscribe so then you don't miss out on the latest motoring content.